Hello and welcome to this new special episode of Continuum Gaming, accompanying the episode 180 of Continuum Gaming, and today we have something very special to do. As you already may have noticed or may have heard of, there is a possibility to do a dual boot system of Windows 10 ARM and Windows 10 Mobile on your Lumia 950 or 950 XL. And that is what we are going to do today, and yeah, I can tell you it worked out and it's pretty damn amazing. I really love it. But first off, just to let you know, if you are trying this out and if you are doing this, please be aware that this is on your own risk. It's really a little bit of a hard to do process, or not really hard to do, but there are a couple of times when you really more or less are very afraid of your phone and stuff like that. So be very careful. Follow the instructions step by step, exactly like they are written there. And yeah, for me this was a pretty hard process, because I didn't figure out by myself that you of course need enough disk space on your internal drive to install another system on there. So the operation system of course needs a lot of space itself, and there are a couple of other things I want to show or tell you about this. So but be very aware that you need a lot of internal storage space on your smartphone to do this. So first off, what will you need for this process? You will need of course a Lumia 950 or a Lumia 950 XL. No other smartphone will work, so don't try it with an Alcatel either for Pro or an HP Elite X or something. There is some kind of another smartphone that is working, but that is a prototype device, so we are not going to talk about this. This is my daily driver, and one very cool thing about it is that I didn't lose any kind of data on it, so I could just install next to my partitions with Windows 10 Mobile on it, the Windows 10 ARM part on it. So everything was still there. I can still boot into Windows 10 Mobile, use it as my daily driver, and as more or less a hidden Easter egg, I can go to Windows 10 ARM on it and use the Windows 10 ARM Professional on it. We will have a look at that later on, but it's really interesting and very cool thing. Thanks to all the developers who made that possible, because it's really amazing what is possible there. What did I want to tell you? What you need for it. Okay, so first off, one of those smartphones mentioned before. You will need of course a USB-C to USB-A cable for it, so you can plug it into your computer. That's the next one you will need of course. You need a lot of space, disk space, on your computer and on your smartphone. The smartphone itself should at least have 10 gigabytes of internal storage space. If you don't have that, don't try it. First time I tried it, I had about 5 or 6 gigabytes only left there, and that's not enough, and you run into a lot of problems and trouble if you are not having enough disk space available. For instance, you can brick your phone like that, or not really brick it, but you will have to figure out yourself how to get back into Windows and Windows Mobile and do stuff with it. It's possible and you can do that, but if you have any kind of problems like that, please write in the comments and I will try to help you there. Maybe I will even upload a troubleshooter video or something about that, because I have a lot of different things I have run into here. But in the end, the process is very straightforward. It's a long process, but it's a very straightforward one if you follow the rules in this guideline. And nothing like SD cards or something, that's not going to help you. You need the internal storage, and there need to be at least 10 gigabytes. 10 gigabytes is very few. You will need more than that if you want to install other apps and stuff like that. So I would recommend you to go with that, let's say 18 gigabytes, which are by default selected by the software that is going to install Windows on ARM on your computer, or on your smartphone in this case. But I went with 14.5, that's fine too. You get about 5 gigabytes of extra storage for apps and stuff like that on Windows 10 ARM in this case. And yeah, I just had to go with that kind of size, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to use Windows 10 Mobile in a good way, because some of the software needs to be installed on the internal drive, and if you install it on the internal drive, of course you don't have a lot of space there, because now you are installing Windows 10 ARM on it too, and like this there is a lot of space already occupied by the two operation systems. So you really need an SD card, if you ask me, to use that dual boot system here, at least as a daily driver. If you of course have it just for playing with it or something, it might be okay, but in other words, if you're using it as a daily driver next to the Windows 10 ARM installation, then yes, you should have an SD card, and a pretty big one if you ask me. But let's talk about what you will need too. So the computer. On the computer itself, you will need something like, I would say, 50 gigabytes of storage available. That's because you're going to go and do backups of your smartphone, which might be quite big, something like 30 gigabytes alone with the backups or something. And you will have to save them. You will have to get an ISO image of a Windows 10 ARM installation part there. So that's something you have to put on your computer, and like that you will need space for that too. So I would say around 50 gigabytes on your main drive. That's easier to work with, a lot easier, and everything else I didn't want to hassle with that, because then you have to think about security stuff and so on and so forth. It doesn't matter. Just be aware that you need about 50 gigabytes of space on your hard drive for that. And if you have that, then you just need your USB-C cable, your smartphone and your computer, and of course an internet connection, and you will download a lot of gigabytes for that. And you need a lot of time. For me, because I made the mistake that I didn't have enough smartphone space, so internal storage space the first time, which really is a bad thing. Don't do that. Just have to tell it again. If you do that, you are going to run into a lot of trouble. So be aware that you really need, let's say, 14, 15 gigabytes of RAM, of internal storage on your smartphone. Otherwise, you are going to have a lot of trouble, and you are running the same problems I ran into, and I don't know, I had 12 hours of work with it or something because of that. If you are running this process with all that in mind, and you already know it before you're doing it, you might need, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 hours or something like that to get this working. And that is included with all the downloads and stuff like that is going to be done there, and installing the stuff and so on and so forth. The process itself maybe would take 1.5 hours or something in that direction. But again, just a very, very rough approximation here, so whatever time it will take for you, just be aware that you need a couple of hours to prepare everything, do everything here, and you should do it. So, and then I would say let's start, and I will show you a little bit about the process. I could show you a video with all the different steps I took to get rid of the problems and stuff like that, but I think I will not do that. I will just show you the right process with this in mind, with the storage problem in mind, and then it's really a more or less straightforward process, and that one will be shown. If you are very interested in it, I can show you a couple of other videos. It would be very long, but still I could upload that if you want to. I might do that. Please, if you have any kind of questions or something like that, please put them down in the commentary section. So if you run into some kind of trouble, I will try to help you with it. But again, it's on your own. So if you are trying this, please be aware that there is a risk, and you should not do it when you really need to use your smartphone or something. I have a spare one to use, so even though it's my daily driver, I used this for, and it worked out pretty well. I could have lost everything, and if that would have been the case, I could have used my other smartphone to at least go with it. And so if you don't have something like that, don't do it, please. Okay, so enough talk about that. Let's have a look at how that is done. Yeah, and now I connected my Lumia 950 XL to my computer. As you can see here, it's already nicely done and nicely connected here. And like that, we should be able to use this. And yeah, of course, I have a couple of different things which I downloaded here. And as you already may have noticed, I already got a couple of things pre-prepared here. So first off, I will show you the links you will need, because we need a couple of different software programs and stuff like that to be used here. So if I, for some reason or the other, forgot to put it into the description or something, you can just get it from here. But I will try to put it in the description down below, and hopefully I'm not going to forget it. If I do, please let me know in the comments, and I will try to update that sooner or later after that. Okay, so first off, I can just open the different things here. I already did that more or less, so we don't have to click on the parts there. So first off, we need some kind of a Windows 10 ARM installation file, more or less, and this is going to be an ISO we need. So I would say that you should just select all these different things here. So a final version, not an insider version, don't use that. Use a final version. Then you need to select a version of Windows 10 ISO files to download. It's extremely important to get an ARM64 one. Don't try anything else. Everything else will do you no good and probably harm your machine. So use a Windows 10 ARM64 version here. What you want to download here is more or less up to you. So use a 1903 or 1909, or maybe even if you want to be on the extremely extremely secure side, use one of the older ones. So the last videos I saw have used the 1809 versions and stuff like that. But I'm going to use the 1903 version, just so I'm not using the newest one, because this is pretty new and I just want to be on the safe side here. So I'm going to use this one. And yeah, select one of the languages you want to. You can of course use Spanish or English or whatever. I'm going to use the German version, of course, because I'm a native speaker in German, of course. And then Windows 10 Professional can be used, or I think Home is probably working too, but I'm going to use Professional. Just because everyone else is using that too, and I want this to work, so I'm not going to try too much out in this case. And then you need to select this type, and the type should be this download ISO compiler in one click. This is pretty important. Everything else won't work, so use this one. And after that, this will be refreshed, and you can see I already clicked on this and downloaded this file. So just do that too. Use get this one down to your desktop, for instance, and after that put it in a folder. The important thing is that you don't use it in this folder itself. So even though I have it here, you should put it in a subfolder. So I'm just going to put it in here, and I'm going to work on my desktop just to make sure that every restriction concerning any permissions and stuff like that is not going to bother me here. So I'm going to download it to my desktop, of course. And for that, you need a couple of, probably gigabytes of desktop space or space on your system drive. So be sure about that. This drive will have that kind of space available. So next one, I'm just going to double click on this. You can try to do this. So using it as an administrator, I had trouble with that. I don't know why, but the last time I tried that, it didn't download anything and it didn't work because it told me that there was some kind of a path missing. We can try it out. So first off, I'm going to click on that. You probably don't see this. This is just the information that I'm going to use it as an administrator. So just say yes on this. And now let's see what's happening. Okay. No. as you can see, here is another problem. I have system path cannot be found, or path cannot be found, better to say, on this machine. I don't know why this is happening, but it's only happening for me. So I'm going to get rid of this. But it's only happening for me for some reason or the other if I'm going to use the administrator part. So I'm not going to do that and just double clicking on it. And if I just do that, it seems to be better. It's downloading more stuff, as you can see, and it should be much better for some reason or the other. I don't know why. So now we just have to wait a couple of seconds till this is going to be downloaded. Okay, and while this is downloading, I will just go one level up and have a look at the other things we will need here. So for instance, we need WP internals. I already downloaded that. But just to show you where you can get that, just go to this website, wpinternals.net index.php, and there you will find this installation file or the zip file. Just download that and get it to the folder. And if you did that, you will of course have a new folder for that with the WP internals in there. I'm going to extract them now. Just in the same folder here. And as you can see, we get an WP internals exe file here, which we are going to use. And here is a README. Just have a look at that if you want to. In here you will find a couple of different informations about what has changed for this version and what's going on here. And this will be used to more or less root your phone. So because you want to install something like another OS on it, system on it, whatever, you have to root your phone in this case, and like that we are probably going to be able to do that. More about that later on. Just let's have a look. This takes a little time, and I'm probably going to cut here somewhere and just jump to the final download stage. But as you can see, just download all the different files. It seems to be working quite nicely, and if that is done, we are going to be here again and try stuff. Okay, but first off, let's have a look at GitHub with the Windows on ARM project, where we of course need this kind of deployer here, and this can pretty much be easily used, as they tell you here. It's not, I would say it's pretty easy to do this, but you have to really follow the guidelines here in a very, very strict way. So be very, very careful about what you are doing or you are going to use here or doing here. And here is a very nice video about all that on Windows Area.de, which is another good resource to do this. First off, I'm going to download this. And by just clicking on it, you can see that you are going to be here. And you could download the source code if you want to, so going on and make more from it. Or for instance, if you are yourself a developer or something, you can use this. For now, we are just going to use or get this this Windows on ARM deployer zip here. I'm going to save it next to the other stuff then. It might take a couple of seconds, whatever, especially since this is running next to it. So this is going to occupy my whole internet connection more or less, because it's a batch file and those are really, really not controlled by much. So they are going to be not limited in any way, and they are going to get the whole bandwidth of my internet connection for that. So we are not able to download this in a very fast fashion. As you already see here, we only get just 10 or so parts here. So we are just going to download this. The good thing about it is I already did that, so we don't have to wait for that. And I just can get this and put it next to my other parts here. I'm going to call this in an own folder, of course, Windows on ARM. The Aurora project is that. And I'm going to just put it in here and extract it. And just to let you know, it's pretty important that you do that in your own folders, because otherwise you are going to have a very messy setup here, and you're not going to be able to use this in a reasonable fashion. Maybe even something is overwritten and stuff like that. We are not going to want that. So just use it like this. Okay. So, and now we just have to wait for this to be finished then, or to finish. And yeah, for that I would say I will just leave you like that, and I will cut here. And if it's downloaded completely, I'm going to let you know, and we are going to see us again. So till then, see you. Yeah, and here just to show you what's going on here, you can see there are a couple of different things happening here. For instance, it changed to this one. I think this is a power CMD part, so nothing special here, but it's just going to look like this. And you can already see that you need a couple of different or a couple of gigabytes of space to go on here. As you may already can see here, we have a couple of, I don't know, 8 gigabytes or something in here. There's more to it. I will show you a final number on the screen somewhere, how much space you will need for this installation part and process and stuff like that. But as you can see, this one is pretty much working on, and yeah, it seems to be flawlessly. Let's see if that is going to change or if that is going to stay that way. Yeah, and here we are. It took quite a while, and I had to reactivate the script 2 times, I think. So even if something isn't working out there, or it really just takes ages, so in my case here I had to wait a couple of hours and nothing happened, and so I just closed down the script and reactivated it, but it just confirmed everything and ran through this time. And yeah, more or less this is what it will look like. You will see that here you can have, after optimization, image file is a large amount of bytes here, but it's probably around 4 gigabytes to 5 gigabytes, something in that direction, which will be the ISO. We can have a look at that. If you have it here, you see it's about 5 gigabytes of data. And here we got this ISO now running. And as you can see here, or you could have if I wouldn't have clicked it away, there we are. Here you can see press any key to exit, and everything is done. So okay, this seems to be working now, so I'm going to press a key. And now we got our ISO, which we will need for the new installation of Windows ARM 10 ARM on the Lumia 950 XL. Yeah, after that, we will have to deploy that to our smartphone then, and yeah, let's see how that is done. So the next step is we have to have a look at the WOA project, so to deploy the newly acquired ISO file we got from our download to, so let's go in there again. So this one, which is available in this folder in this case, and we of course want to deploy that to our smartphone, and that can only be done by using Windows on ARM, so the WOA deployer Lumia project. And if you go to that link here on GitHub in this case, you will have a couple of different informations about all that. And of course this has to be dual bootable, so this is a white version here. And in this case we just have to click on one of the infos here. So what to do and how to do it. will be available at this point. So first thing we have to do is we have, of course, a Lumia 950 XL connected to the computer that is already available and done by this. And now we have to use the WP or WP internals to unlock the bootloader of our smartphone. So go to this guide. I will click on that. And here you can see there are a couple of different other informations. And what really is important is you need to get the Windows device recover tools, which are available at this point. So I'm going to go to that page. I already downloaded that, and now I'm going to install that. This is necessary because only this Windows device recover tool will give us some drivers we will need in future to work with this. So first off, let's install that. This should not take too long, just so we are sure about that we have everything here. You can see there are a couple of different things going on here. This would of course be a tool that is very helpful if you, for instance, run into any kind of trouble or something with this tool or this work here. So you might be able to get your Lumia 950 XL or whatever back on track with this tool to reinstall everything on it. But now let's go to installing this. As you can see, it supports different versions of, for instance, Microsoft HoloLens, which is of course not necessary in this case. You could use it with the Elite X3 and stuff like that. But this is of course nothing that has to do with deploying Windows 10 ARM on these devices. It only has to do with this device recovery tool. So don't think that you can use that for doing any of the other parts there. After that, everything worked. I think I can just close it now. So just close that down. And because it's of course no longer necessary for that. And now we install this, like the guide tells us. Now remove your SD card from your device. Okay, that's an important information. I will do that now. Let's give me a couple of seconds to do that, and I will be back for you in a couple of seconds. Okay, and I removed the SD card now. The next thing is to turn it on again. Okay, I did that, and disable the BitLocker protection in the settings. I don't know where to do that, and if I have to do it, so first off I will try it without it, and if there is some kind of trouble going on with that, we might have to do it again at this point here. So now we have to start the WP internals. Of course, I never installed that before. Sorry, this is not the right one. I think this one could help here. So let's go. And here is WP internals. Of course, I already extracted it, and now I can just activate it. All the time you're not seeing the screen at this point, or everything is looking as it froze in or something. That doesn't have to do with any kind of problem. It's just that Windows 10 is asking me for administrator access, and like that I'm not able to screen capture that. Okay, so as you can see here, we have Windows Phone internals. We get a disclaimer and a warning. Okay, just have a look at that, read it through. They just tell you that, hey, it's like it is. If something is happening, it's your choice to use this, this software. So we are not having any kind of stuff with that there. Okay, we have disabled SIM lock. That's fine. And now we just have to have a look at the part here, so we can see what's going on. So read Getting Started section, navigate to Download section, fill the product type and the product code fields. We will do that. So go to unlock the bootloader, more or less. That's this one. So if we do that, I'm just going to unlock that now. Let's see if that is really the section we need to do here. Okay, but first we will have to have a look at the download section. So we will of course do that if they tell us to do that. It's at this point. And what we can see here is it's going to download the stuff to program data VP internals repository. I will just leave it like that. As you can see, we have stuff here. I will click on search and we get those parts here. And now I'm going to click on download all to put it in here. I think this is more or less a backup file of what we already got there. So we are going to do that, of course. Let's see if that is really what we are going to have to do. This is automatically filled in our case. Yeah, search and download all. And we will do that, of course. Okay, so click on that. This might take a while now because it's a couple of gigabytes we have to download here. So as you can see, we get something like 7 minutes in the go. And of course, I will not record everything here because that would just make the video even longer as it already is going to be. So I'm going to let this work around and do its thing, and we will see us in a couple of minutes then. So, and now it seems like it has downloaded everything, and this should make or give us the opportunity to unlock our bootloader here. Just have a look that everything worked here. So yes, search and download all, we did that, and now select unlock bootloader from the left menu, click OK to switch the phone into flash mode. We will do that. So go to this, unlock bootloader is this one, and here we are asked if we want to put it into flash mode. Yes, we want to. Now our phone is rebooted. I can see that it's exactly doing what is mentioned there on the screen. This might of course take a couple of seconds too. An interesting question, for instance, that will occur in the deploying of the file here is how much space I need on my smartphone itself. So I of course have a pretty big SD card in there. I think it's 200 gigabytes or something, yeah. But I don't think we are able to install it on the SD card. We will have to install it on this internal drive, and let's see how much space we need there, because I think I only got, I don't know at the moment, we can't check it now because the smartphone is rebooting. But I think I got only about, I don't know, 4 gigabytes or something of free space there. So we will see what's happening there and if that is enough. But till that is happening, let's have a look at what we are going to have to do at the next part. Check if original FFU and emergent programmer are selected. They should be already selected, okay. That's the next step. And as it seems, my smartphone is now coming back again, yeah. It's restarting. Let's see what is happening. Yeah, I see a screen here. On the screen I can see that there is a little icon, which is more or less showing an arrow which is hunting an arrow or something like that. And now, as you can see, we have a flash mode part here, okay. I really tell you, please read everything that is here, because this is really important, and I will do that too now. So give me a second to do that, and we will see us in a second. Okay, I have read that, and yeah, it's pretty frightening if you ask me what's written here. In the end, it's telling you that it will, for instance, reboot your phone for a couple of times. That they will reboot it into different modes here, and there are a couple of different things that are going to happen. He gives you a warning and tells you that most of it will just be done like it should be done, and yeah, more or less everything should be fine. I think the download part already got us the right emergency programmer for your phone, which is this one. And it all got automatically selected. If not, you should, for instance, go to this change part here and select the right one. Yeah, and there are a couple of different things that might happen, and that very likely look pretty strange, but we should not worry too much about it. The system tells us that it tries to handle that, and it's just telling us before we are doing this that a couple of different things can happen, and most of the stuff here just tells you that, for instance, if you don't have a emergency programmer, it's called, then you might have to restart your phone manually. We will see if that is happening, but in the end, the system should take care of all of that, and let's see what's happening here. So clicking on unlock, and now let's see what's happening here. So rebooting the phone, that's already done. Then I had a short little red screen in here. Yeah, it does it for a couple of different times now, scanning for the flashing profile. He told us about that, so we have about 64 reboots before we are going to see something here, as it seems. I will try to take a picture of one of those reboot stuffs so you know how that is looking. I have another smartphone here, and I'm trying to get a good image of that. And this is probably normal, as they told us. After a while, now it's a little bit different. Okay, so I think he already found my profile he's searching for in this case, or something. Yeah, maybe. Because I got a different screen here. Yeah, and what you can see here, he is telling us that manual assigning a drive letter to the main OS partition of your phone has to be done if it's black for a longer time. We will see what is happening there. Okay, so he's telling me that I have to manually restart my phone by pressing the power button of my phone for about 10 seconds. That's something everybody knows more or less. How that is done. So holding it for 10 seconds, keeping it attached to the computer here. I'm going to do that. Okay. So got the 10 seconds here. Smartphone is going on again. Yeah, there it is. Let's see if he can reboot it into this mode he is asking for. Yeah, that seems to have been working now. Okay, and we are again in such a... There's always the red screen with this icon I showed you before on here, and followed by a green one. Fail to unlock the bootloader due to a misbehaving driver. Wait for the phone to boot to Windows and then try again. Okay. Okay, interesting. Let's see what is going to happen there. He's restarting to Windows at the moment, I think, on the smartphone. And what I can see here is I just have to try it again, as it seems. Okay, it restarted to Windows Mobile again. I'm going to unlock it now. Okay, I'm going to give it the access point there, and I think I have to give it the SIM pin. I'm going to do that now. Okay. And now we are back at the starting point here, more or less. So let's try this again. Unlock. Okay. He's rebooting my phone now. The good thing about all of this is that it's really telling you a lot of what's going on there, and if it's really going to work, yeah, it's a pretty nicely guided sequence to do here. Still, we have to go through a lot of loops here and a lot of stuff, but that might just be how it is. We are gambling, of course, a little bit with our smartphone here in this case, but I think this is something we are, more or less having to do, because otherwise we're not going to get all the different benefits we are trying to achieve here. So let's see what's going on here and if this is working or not. So at the moment my smartphone is rebooting. And we see the screen again. Okay, let's try to do that again. Unlock and see what's going on here. Okay, I get at least more or less progress bar here on my smartphone. Let's see what's happening there and if there is happening something. Okay, and now it seems that something has happened here. That's a good thing, because as you can see I got this little info here, and this info tells me that there is a new main OS partition which is available at this point. And this is the main OS information about the smartphone, as it seems. Okay, so what do we have to do now? You need to manually reset your phone now. The phone is currently messed up. Storage mode. To continue to unlock sequence, the phone needs to be rebooted. Keep the phone connected and so on. Yeah, we are going to do that. So clicking or pressing the start button for 10 seconds now. Okay, there we go. And now let's see what's going to happen here. Okay, so flashing unlocked bootloader. I've got another progress bar on my smartphone on a red and a green screen after that, and now as you can see bootloader unlocked successfully. That's pretty cool. Let's see if there is something different which we have to do here. At the moment it's just looking quite normal here. It's just showing the Windows icon on it, with Windows 10 Mobile of course, the Windows 10 Mobile icon. And everything else seems to be fine. As you can read here, when you connect the phone, it can take a moment before it's recognized. Okay, if it still isn't recognized after a while, you might need to install the drivers first. Okay, for more information about the drivers, read Getting Started section and so on. If the drivers are installed but the phone is still not recognized, then try to perform a soft reset. Okay, first off, I'm going to give it my SIM card. SIM icon or SIM pin of course to activate it, and my phone pin again. Now it's asking me to go to that mode, okay, and that seems to have already worked and I don't have to do anything else here. Okay, that's fine for me. And now it seems like our phone is unlocked. So I'm going to close this, or at least minimize it. Next step in the procedure here, yeah, we already did that. We booted already in the normal mode, we did that too, and now this seems to be done. So let's have a look at the next part we have to do here. Where was it? I think, no. Yeah, probably I clicked on that. Okay, so go back and let's have a look. We of course connected it already, that's fine. And now how to use it. Don't open issues otherwise. Okay. We of course have the most recent version of Windows 10 here. We got the framework here installed too. This is of course something that is included in the recent version of Windows, but if you don't have that, you might want to have a look at that and try to get that too. But in the end, I don't need to get that, I think, and I can now go to my next step here. So going to use, in this case, the Windows 10 on ARM with the deployer here. Okay, so as you can see, I downloaded it and just extracted it before, and now we are going to try to activate this. So first off, I'm just going to double click on this part here. It's telling me that there is no, we should be very careful about that and stuff like that, but that's nothing I'm very frightened about or something. Okay, and here we have the deployer for Lumia. So the Windows on ARM deployer for Lumia. Okay, this tool comes with no warranty, of course. The authors can't be held responsible, and so on. The only device which this should be used with is the XL or the Lumia 950. We got the XL, so the later one in this case. And create a full backup of your phone. You can do it with applications like Win1032 Disk Imager. Some partitions like DPP are unique to your phone and are unrecoverable in the case of a failure. Okay, this is a very important information, so we might want to do this. So Win1032 Disk Imager. Let's have a look at what is going to get there. Okay, it's a source forge. I reject everything here. Save it. And we are trying to download this. As you may already have noticed, I'm trying to play it pretty safe. So I'm really going to do what they tell me to do. And if they really give me such a nice information about what to do, I will really do that. So I'm going to download this part here. And let's see if this is really going to work for me. Image writer, it's called. Okay. I'm just clicking through the process here, of course. Installing it. And now I'm going to launch this. Okay. And now he is trying. Let's see what I have to do here. Yeah, I would say no thank you. Nothing to worry about here. Let's see what we can do in this case. I'm not even sure what this is about. Okay, let's see what they are telling us here. Please, before using this tool, create a full backup of your phone. You can do it with an application like Win Disk Imager. Some partitions like DPP are unique to your phone and are unrecoverable in case of a failure. At the moment, I can't see how I would go about this, because I can't select anything. But probably, let's see if I can see something here. Windows Lumia is available. So here's my phone, that's fine. Maybe I have to select my phone now. Okay. Do this. But I'm not really sure what I have to do here now, because I think I would have to have a drive letter or something at this point, but it doesn't have a drive letter at the moment. So let's see if I can give it one. There's this tool, of course. We can have a look at that and see if something is showing up at this point. I'm not sure about that neither. Yeah, I can't see anything here happening, because everything that is shown up here in my drive letter part is not what I'm going to work with here. I'm pretty sure that my smartphone is at the moment not in mass storage mode, and because of that, that is happening what we have here. So yeah, I would do a little break here, and I will try to find a way to get this working, and after that I'm back. Okay, and now we have to have a look at the next part here. So as you can see, deploy, dual boot, and everything's there. I'm going to check the dual boot part here, just in case we have to have a look at that. Okay, probably not in the mass storage part. Yeah, and as you can see, I am back into the Windows Phone internals, and in this I can, for instance, go to manual mode and click to switch to mass storage mode. I'm going to do that, so the smartphone is going to be rebooted, and after that I'm probably able to use Windows 32 disk imager. I'm going to try that in that way now. So first off, just try to restart the smartphone in this case. Going to do that at the moment. It's taking a little while, of course. Rebooting is done. I'm pretty sure that they asked me to get rid of the SD card from the smartphone because of all these flashes and those restarts here, because otherwise if you are going to restart it all over again, then all the time he's trying to recover the SD cards and stuff like that and the stuff on it. So in that case, it's really a good idea to do it in this way. Let's see if we can enter the mass storage mode now. Restarting at the moment. Let's see what's happening there. Okay, this seems to be quite fine. It's on G in this case. And let's see, yeah, here you can see we now are in mass storage mode and we can use this. And now we can, for instance, create a hash file, I think. For that I will go to my part here. I have a backup file here. And I'm going to call this, hopefully this is the way to do it, 1102 backup smart Lumia 950 XL. I'm going to call it that. Hopefully that is going to work here. And now I could do a refresh and stuff like a hash here and stuff like that, but I don't think I need that. Let's see if we can read that. Okay, and here you see it's going to take us a quite long time again. Okay, and the reading process has been done successfully, so we are going to go to OK now, and probably we will have to click on right now to get it written to the database, to the containers here. It's a little bit hassle-some. I don't think we need to do anything. Probably it's already done because I have a 30 gigabytes file here. I would say that's fine. So let's close that and let's go to the next part here. Okay, so this has been done. Let's open up the deploy tool again, which is this, of course. Okay, there we are. Okay, we already did what he asked us there, and now we of course want to have a dual boot start. So I'm going to click on dual boot now and click on status. Okay, let's see what he is going to tell us here. Okay, this is not very helpful. Let's see what's going on there, if we have something else. This is probably going to overwrite our part. That's not what I want here. So yeah, this would be fine. Okay, so here is force dual boot part. Let's click on that. And there I just run into a problem here, which is pretty bad for me, so give me a second, I will try to find a way around that. Okay, so it seems that dual boot isn't really the way to go. I have to go to deployment mode or deploy mode and have to go to advanced, and as you can see, space location is telling me keep Windows 10 mobile, and this is what I'm going to do here. And then I can use compact deployment, which might take longer but will keep us some other informations. Or better to say, more space on our device. This is something I might want to do. We will see. Another thing, the partition maintenance is something we can back up here, but the problem is if I'm doing that, the program is at the moment more or less crashing, I think, and that's something, so I'm not able to back up it really here. It should be going to here, but it's not working. The moment I try that, it's going to go down, so I can show you that. Just giving it a name in some way or the other. Now it's working for a couple of seconds, but then, as you can see, it's gone. That's something I have to deal with. Doesn't really help anything, so I'm going to reactivate that. And now let's see what's going to happen here. The most interesting part is the size to reserve for Windows taken from the data partition as needed. And this is something I'm not really sure if I can use this, because I would need a smaller one, and at the moment we only can go to 10, but he's asking us for 18 gigabytes of RAM or of space here. So let's have a look at how much space I still have on my phone here. And the problem seems to be that we might not be able to have enough of that. But let's see what's happening there. I'm not sure. Let's keep it like that, and now I'm going to deploy. And most important, please click on this, keep it there, and do this. Dual boot is something that is probably only used when there is already a dual boot part on there. Otherwise you get this force dual boot and force single boot option. So in the end, the installation we are doing here is going to take up the space on your Lumia, and all the files are kept there. But if, for instance, you don't want that anymore, and or at least the option to go to Windows 10 ARM or something, you can go to force single boot again, and then it will just no longer give you the option to boot into one or the other OS in this case. So in the end, we are going to click on this part. Now we need, of course, the Vim installation part. I'm not sure at the moment where that is placed. I think it is placed in the ISO file, so we have to mount the ISO file first. So for that, I'm going to try and put that ISO file as an own drive letter in. I have a lot of them already assigned in my computer, but we will see what's happening there. So first off, I'm going to open up that's the wrong one. I will just close that. I will go to this part, of course, go back here, go to Windows 10 ARM, and now I will have to mount that in some way or the other. I'm not sure at the moment how to do that, so give me a second so I can find out what to do here. There you can see the different informations in there. This is from a Cyberlink, so Cyber, I think it's my DVD player, so that's not what I want to do here. Let's see if there is something I can use this with. For instance, the Windows Explorer can open it, okay. And now it seems it's available at the K DVD level support here. So K might be the drive letter we are going to have to go to. Let's see if I can do that. Yes, I can. And in here we are searching for a Vim file. So I'm going to that part, and here we can find that. Okay, so I'm going to open that now. There is a Windows 10 Pro build available there. I'm going to hit this button, use this option to install Windows into the phone that has been unlocked. Okay, I did that. So let's see what's happening. The worst thing that could happen now is that Windows 10 Mobile is overwritten by this, but I don't think so because we already selected keep Windows 10 Mobile at this point. So hopefully it's not going to be a problem. So let's see what's happening. This might take a long time. This is just normal and it can take a long time to do that. So let's see what's going to happen here. I have read that it can take up to an hour or something in that direction. If that is going to be the case, then I'm not going to show you all of that, of course, and I'm going to pause this here. Otherwise, yeah, as I can see from this bar at least, it's not going to take that long. But yeah, what I already mentioned, you really need a lot of gigabytes on your computer to do this. So I had 50 gigabytes of space before this, and with all those different things I did, so the backups I did and stuff like that, I now only have 14 gigabytes left, and this is going to download a couple of gigabytes too. I hope it will be enough, but again, if you don't have a lot of space on your computer, you should not try this, and this might not be the best way to do it for you. Let's have a look at the logs, if I can see something here. Yeah, he's just downloading different resources here from the Windows on ARMs part, of course, which is of course just like it's done here. And now we are just downloading that, and I will be back in a couple of minutes probably till this is fully done. Okay, so see you. Here, and we are probably going to download a couple of different files here, but the first one is already close to finishing. It's an Wi-Fi. That's more or less a BIOS that is done for the Lumia 950 XL in this case. And of course, this has to be downloaded so we can install a BIOS on this. And with the BIOS on it, then we can install the Windows system itself on it, of course. So let's see what's happening there. So that was the first one. And yeah, now it might take a little to get the other drivers and stuff like that. And so I'm going to pause this, but this is more or less a process that is going to be happening here. So different things downloaded, getting them, and after that deploying them to the smartphone itself. Okay, after a couple of different tries, and I had problems with downloading stuff and so on, I just restarted it a couple of times, and after a while it worked, and I got this menu then. Developer menu has been installed. In order to get faster deployments up to 3 times, you may now want to switch to mass storage mode using the developer menu too. Okay, so I might do this just to make it a little bit faster. I don't have to, but I could. And yeah, for that, reboot the phone, pressing and holding the power button for 10 seconds and until it vibrates. I will do that. So 10 seconds. Come on. There we go. And now choose developer menu. You can now navigate to volume with volume and volume down. Okay, we'll try that. Let's see if we get to that menu. Yeah, there is something. And I can navigate with volume down and volume up on it. I will show you maybe if I can, let's see, a picture of what is happening here. Okay, done. And now I should go to developer mode. I will do that, and pressing okay, I should press enter now. What is enter? The camera button is enter. That is there. Okay, I'm going to use that. And that seems to have been working. I'm in another menu now. And I will of course try to show you an image of that. Let's see. Here I can see USB mass storage mode, reset phone, advanced options, shutdown and exit. Okay. I'm just trying to get a good image of that. Not easy to get a good focus here. So sorry if it's not looking extremely sharp or something. I just have trouble to get a good photo with my other smartphone here. Very dark and like that. It's a little bit troublesome, but hopefully that worked. Okay, now I should go to mass storage mode. Okay, there's an entry USB mass storage mode. I'm going to use that. And now I am in an UFE mass storage mode. There is some information about that on the screen here. And as you can see, I can now see the different parts. Okay, I will close it. Okay, finally close this message and the deployment will continue with faster speed. Okay, we will do that. Click on it. And now let's wait a little. Here is the deployment window. Okay, and there's another problem. Phone disk preparation failed, cannot prepare the phone for the deployment. That's of course unfortunate, and I have to have a look at what is happening there too. So give me a sec. Okay, so I tried my best to get as much disk space free on my phone itself, and as you can see, the most I could do was 16.7 gigabytes, which are free now. I probably will try to go with something like, I don't know, 14 gigabytes or something like that. If at any way possible, that would be a good thing, if that would be enough. There were no informations I can find about that, so the deployer doesn't tell me anything other than, okay, you can go down to 10 gigabytes but nothing less, and I will try it with 14 gigabytes just because I need a couple of gigabytes on my phone itself left there, so I can, for instance, install other apps or something that are, for instance, just demanding to be installed on the main drive. And like that, if I'm really going to use it as a dual boot system, then I really need something like that. So 14 gigabytes will be what I'm going to use here. As mentioned before, I had to restore the bootloader before that, so we are going to unlock it again. That will be the same process as before, so I'm not going to cover that here. And yeah, let's see what's happening there, and we will see us when I'm going to deploy it, the installation of Windows ARM on the Lumia again. And till then, let's see what's happening here. Okay, and now I'm going to use the compact deployment, of course, because otherwise I think it's not going to work. And now we are going to have a look at the, let's see, at the part here. As you can see, main OS and stuff like that is really not very helpful. For instance, if you go to that, this is more or less the main OS of the unlocked phone. You can see all the different things installed here, and there's another part available, which is this one. Those two are the ones which are really used in Windows 10 Mobile here. And yeah, there are a couple of very strange things going on. For instance, this is telling me that it's 27 gigabyte of, or 26 gigabyte of data big, and this is of course just not right. And if you go in there, you don't get any kind of information about it. So if, for instance, I'm going to try to have a look at this, this is a lot smaller than that and stuff like that. So don't try to in any way find any kind of information about that there, and don't try to delete something also, because that is really a thing you shouldn't do. But as mentioned before, we have about 16.4 or something gigabytes available, and I'm trying to, let's go with 14.5 gigabytes of RAM for the installation part there. Hopefully that is enough. We will see if that is right. So advanced, keep Windows Mobile. So this is really important. Otherwise you're going to get rid of it and you only have Windows 10 ARM on it then. This is more or less just leaving the partitions which are available at the moment on the device and just adding other ones to that. And for that, to just start with that now, I'm going to deploy. As mentioned before, I'm using the I think 1809, if I'm not wrong. Let's see if that I'm not telling you something wrong here. It's 1809. The Windows ARM one I'm going to put on here, and after that I'm going to hit deploy. And yeah, just to let you know, this will take a couple of minutes too. So if you really don't have any kind of time or something, don't do this, because it really takes a lot of time, especially if you are running into different problems like I did with, for instance, the not sufficient disk space and stuff like that. Then you're really in trouble and you have to go and jump around here. But the good thing about it is, if you really have enough space and everything works quite as it should, then it's really not that much of a process. It's still a lot of time you're going to put in here, but I have put in this, I don't know, maybe 8 hours or something, or even more. Now, in general, if you are going to do this and it's working out as it should, it's probably maybe 3 hours or something to work with. I'm not even sure if 8 hours is enough for me. I think I worked 10 hours or even more on it now. But nevertheless, I'm going to try this because I just promised to do it, and I'm going to try this. I may really get rid of all of this after I deployed everything and stuff like that, and just use my smartphone as a daily driver then from there on. But yeah, let's see what's happening here, and I have of course a backup, so if something is really going to happen here and it's not going to work out, I can still use my Alcatel Idle 4 Pro for the remaining time of Windows 10 Mobile. But yeah, I want to see what is going on here and if this is really a cool thing to have, and maybe even if there's something that you can use sooner or later as your daily driver. We will see. But for now, I would say I will just do a break here, and we will see what's happening here in a couple of minutes, because this might take a little while now, and so let's give him that time. Okay, so see you. Okay, and as you can see, we have a couple of other things to download here. The good thing about that is that since I did this already a couple of times, it seems like he's just getting the informations or the already existing files, because otherwise I wouldn't have that kind of a download speed here. But we will see. At least it's pretty fast, especially with GitHub in general, that's not very fast. So now he is configuring my device, and this is more or less the crucial part. If this is going to work, then we have everything done. Okay, this is a new one, so seems like we have enough disk space now. Or is it a new one? I'm not even sure. So I have to reboot it now. Let's do that. For that, just hold down the power button again for 10 seconds till it vibrates. There we go. And now, of course, I have to choose a mass storage mode. Let's see if that is going to be available. I already have been at this stage, I think. So the next one is crucial, not this one. So I have those small parts. I'm going to go to Develop menu. Then the camera button is going to be entered, so to do stuff. Go to Advanced in this case. No, not Advanced. There is a USB mass storage mode. We should open that one up. I will do that. Okay, now we are in that state again. UFE mass storage connected is displayed on my smartphone, and as you can see, we have the two drives there again. So I click on Continue, and now let's see what's going to be done here. Verifying available space. That is the one that is crucial. Last time it got cancelled at this point. And I would have to say, if this is not going to work this time, then I would have to really let this loose, and it would be unsuccessful. Sorry for that, but I can't really make more free space on this device, but at the moment it's looking much better than before, because the last time I tried it, it was really a very fast information that something was not successful. So maybe we are one step further down the road here. Let's see. Verifying available space. Just to let you know, if you want to see something about the process and stuff like that, you can have a look at this log. So here you can see different things, what's going on here, and as you can see here, verifying available space is the last one. Here are a couple of different informations about the Wi-Fi and stuff like that. And other than that, I'm going to, here you see the different things which are downloaded to put the Windows 10 ARM on the device and stuff like that. And so I think we just have to wait here. Hopefully he's verifying the space now, and after that he will go to another state of this. So the next step, more or less, of the installation process, probably something like really copying the files over or something like that. And now I have to say, I am myself a little bit cautious and a little bit frightened that something is going wrong here, because this is really crucial for me now. I've put a lot of hours into this now, and I really hope it will work this time around. Okay, and since this seems to take a while, I will probably cut somewhere here, and we will see what's going on here in a couple of probably minutes, like it looks here. So let's wait for that. Yeah, and now it seems like he is doing something different, because he formatted something and now he's enabling a Windows image, and this is a new step and might of course still need some time to deploy that and do something, but seems like verification of the disk space was okay, and he's trying to do it now. So formatting partitions and enabling Windows images is going on. This is probably, hopefully of course, not meaning that, for instance, he has formatted, for instance, existing ones, but he created new ones on the available space, and this is only the new ones which have to be created for deploying the new Windows 10 ARM on it. And now he's copying over the Windows image. So let's see what's happening here. Okay, and now we are very close. As you can see, 99% at the moment. It will take just a couple of seconds now, and it should be ready. Let's see what's happening then. So 99%. And let's have a look in the log. There is nothing new in here, so everything seems to be fine. Still 99%. It took about, let's say, 30 minutes, not 10 or something. I'm not exactly sure, something in that direction. But yeah, seems to be pretty okay till now. Still 99% here. And there we are. Making installation bootable, so something like the boot table is altered now. That's fine. After that, to have a dual boot system, we need to go to dual boot, checking that, and after that doing the advanced tab there with the forced dual boot or something, so we can select everything there. And for now, injecting drivers from download support desktop drivers, so needs to be injected somehow. Okay, let's wait for that too. And we can have a look at the log here. So copying did work as it seems. Copying for the O2M worked too. Now he's injecting a certain driver, not a support desktop driver, but something else again. So probably now he's going to, yeah, that's possible. We downloaded at the beginning of the whole process, we downloaded a couple of different drivers, and maybe he's now just putting them on the system just to make it workable. Could be the case at the moment. This is more or less so that the smartphone itself can be used here. And here we can see something. Okay, this is a new screen for Microsoft Mobile, Lumia 950, 950 XL. That one is probably that development unit people use, and the Acer Jade Primo can be used too. Primo. And of course, yeah, that's just what was expected here. So this is a work of progress of course here. If you're deploying this driver package using for Lumia, make sure the version is greater or equal than 2.6. This, I read about that. This is just a bug more or less, or a little error here. In the end, I think I'm currently even rocking 2.6, if I'm not totally wrong. But if you are seeing that and you have used another or a smaller version, for instance 2.5.5 or something, everything's fine. That's just expected behavior. So let's have a look. We can talk to the Telegram group here, forum, VR deployer, VP internals, or the wiki. Okay. And the other stuff here is more or less what is expected. Okay, by installing yeah, of course, on risk. And this should not be redistributed or something, so charging somebody to do this is not what is going on here. Okay, so we are not going to talk about that. Yeah, here they just tell us, okay, be very cautious of your phone and stuff like that. Doesn't really matter in this case. So we have also been telling people on engineering devices to make a backup. This is especially true here, flashing an entire eMMC image. That is more or less the hard drive type, whatever, on engineering device will not only risk damaging the device, it will also lose forever the modem partitions for your phone. Those are unique. There's ways to recover them, but it's borderline legal. Okay, if you do not have the correct modem partitions for your device, you will never get the cellular to work on your device again. You have been warned. Okay, this is very important if you ask me, but I hope it will still work. Before we did something different. We did the Win32 disk imager, so I have a backup of all of these if something is not working here. Here are the very talented people of course, who made this all possible. So very, very well done, people, guys. I'm really astonished how well that project has gone on, and what the process of the project has been and stuff like that. So you are very, very well doing everything here, and I'm really, really happy that you are here. Okay, so I would say close this now. Now he is preparing the phone to be removed. Let's see if that is happening here. Okay, done. There we are. We are in the mode, of course, where we can see all the stuff here. And there, I think we've got a new partition, which might be this one. This might be the new installation we got here. Yeah, probably this is a new installation, but we will see. And done. Eject the phone safely to avoid the data corruption issue. Okay, that has to be done by using. Let's move this over here so we can see that. You just have to go to this button down here and now just tell him that you want to inject that by this. Okay, I will do that now. Click on this. Okay, so this is just ejecting the hardware safely, more or less. That's what this is about. Move this a little bit again. And yeah, so what is the next step? Reboot the phone by pressing power and holding it until it vibrates. Phone will reboot. Inside menu, choose Windows 10 by using the camera button to start Windows 10 ARM setup. Wait patiently until the Windows setup starts. While you wait, the screen will likely become completely black for some minutes. Okay, don't worry, let it continue. If touchscreen doesn't work, reboot until it works. Okay, this is a known issue. If a red warning screen pops up during the installation related to unsigned drivers, choose to install them. Okay, once the Windows setup is loaded, proceed as usual. Okay. So we got all the different things we need to know here. I don't know if we should check the status now. I think I can do that, but in the mass storage mode we can't do anything like this. So I will just do what they told me. I will just press the button now. Again, 10 seconds for that. On the Lumia device. I will have to describe to you what's happening here, because I will not try to disconnect the smartphone from the computer at the moment, but I will try to get a few images, or even let's try it out if I can create another video with my smartphone of this. This is of course a little bit shaky and stuff like that, so please don't be too harsh with me on this one. Okay, so you can see it started into Windows now, and now something is happening at this point. Okay, and this might take a while now, as mentioned before. Okay, there's going to be a data drive inspection, more or less, going to be here, but that's pretty fast. And let's see what the next parts here are going to be here. My smartphone doesn't really like to focus pretty well here because it's just too dark for him, for the smartphone. It's an Alcatel, it doesn't have the best camera available, but still should be good enough to see at least a little bit of what is going on here. Trying to give it a focus sometimes, but I'm pretty sure that we don't get a good focus on it. I might be able to put, let's see. Yeah, I'm doing manual focus. I think that's a better way here. Okay, Geräte werden betriebsbereit gemacht. That means devices are going to be made workable, more or less. So it's just a preparation process here. Okay, now we got the black screen and another flash. And the black screen again. They already told us that it could be a couple of minutes. It's restarting. It could be a couple of minutes where that is happening and stuff like that, and that we just have to be patient here. But seems to be like we are going to start again. Yeah, okay. And here we see it again with Windows 10 in the part there. This is more or less, sorry for that. Let's see if I can get that sharp again. Better at least, yeah. So as you can see, this is the start menu now, and we can use the buttons at the side here to navigate through that. So using the down button to go one down. And of course the up button to go to the first entry there, and then we can just use the camera button at this point to activate that. First part there is Windows 10. I'm going to click on that. And there we are again. And they're very, very funny. I like that. If I couldn't read that, there was one of the developers or something who who should be told that they should study for the exam. Very funny. Like an Easter egg here. Yeah, and as they told us, we have to be pretty patient, but this seems pretty close to what I would expect from the starting menu of Windows 10. A moment, please. Einen Moment, bitte. And there is Cortana in the first installation part.
Hallo, ich bin Cortana und ich bin hier, um dich zu unterstützen.
Hi Cortana. Yeah, and it seems
Eine Anmeldung hier, etwas WLAN da und schon ist dein PC betriebsklar.
Okay. And as you may already have...
Verwende deine Stimme oder die Tastatur. Wenn ich still sein soll, wähle einfach das kleine Mikrofonsymbol am unteren Bildschirmrand aus. Wenn du zur Unterstützung eine Sprachausgabe benötigst, drücke gleichzeitig die Windows-Taste und STRG und Eingabe, um die Sprachausgabe zu aktivieren. Das war's auch schon mit der Einführung. Lass uns loslegen.
Okay.
Deine Region ist auf Deutschland festgelegt. Ist das richtig?
Ja. Let's see if the touch screen is working. It is. Touch screen works. Yeah, and I think this is more or less a normal.
Deine Tastatur ist auf Deutsch festgelegt. Möchtest du dabei bleiben?
This is more or less a normal part here. She doesn't seem to hear me at the moment, but that's not a big problem, so I'm going to go with yes in this case.
Verwendest du noch ein
I'm
anderes
not using
Tastaturlayout?
anything else, no. And I'm going to shut her off, I think. Yeah. And now I'm just going to jump over that. One moment, please. Something happened to the display at the moment. It's very, very dim now. But there we are again. Okay. So now he's asking me for a network and stuff like that. So I would say I will just go on and put this in now. Because there are a couple of different things I have to do here, and I don't want to show everything to you, of course. For instance, my WLAN password and stuff like that, or Wi-Fi password and stuff like that shouldn't be put into this video. But as you can see, this is a normal Windows 10 installation process. So here, of course, I can put this in. Okay, and now I would need something like a display. Yeah, it's even working with that. There is a display keyboard. I can use that, put this in as my desktop name here. I'm going with Fuhre in this case. Okay, enter. And of course my password. I'm not going to show that, obviously, so give me a second. Yeah, and here Cortana is asking me if she should work with me or not. In this case, I'm going to use this in this case because it's a smartphone. I'm not going to use this part. This is extremely important to use simple in this case. Don't use fully. Oh, here I could use as a pencil and stuff like that. I'm not going to do that in this case. No. Okay. And here is a start screen. Okay, everything has to be prepared. That's more or less what she's telling me there. This is a normal process as you would expect it from a computer, PC or something. That's just normal. Like this, Windows is always installed for each and every installation you do. Pretty awesome. And of course, we have to wait a little for that again. But this is just part of it. And the installation process itself isn't that... Yeah, it's pretty speedy if you ask me. So for instance, the input of the stuff has no lag or something I could determine here. We have a speedy input, there is no lag I could feel at the moment at least. All the different device inputs here are put in pretty nicely. I really like it at the moment. And the interesting part is, no, this is not a PC. But I will not do anything to it anyway. But still not a PC, my friend. This is a smartphone, even so Microsoft doesn't really like to go with smartphones and stuff like that with Windows on it. Which might change, I hope it will change, but we will see. Sorry if it's a little bit blurry, I'm not used to doing it manually, but otherwise it's not going to work at all. But in the end I think, okay, fast geschafft, close to being ready, and we are in Windows 10. Here we have Windows 10. Let's try it with Windows 10 on the Lumia 950 XL. Okay, so let's try something out. Of course, it's pretty small. There was a little bit of a delay, but nothing special. Especially for accessing it the first time, this was pretty fast. And now we can swipe through it here. Pretty fine too. Okay, let's try weather in this case. Maybe he has to download it again, I'm not sure. Or maybe because he doesn't have any Wi-Fi, that might be a problem at the moment. But we will see. There we are. Okay. And he's asking me for stuff, of course. Let's see if I can drag it around without any kind of lag here. So window preparation and stuff like that seems to be pretty fine. I'm going to close that now. Next thing I will do is I will give it another. I will go to the tablet mode, I think. I think that one is better suited here. And I will have a look at the all settings part. Because it's very small at the moment. I want to put in a bigger scaling for now. Yeah. Okay. Okay, it's pretty small all, but I would say it's close to be usable. Very nicely done. Okay, so I would switch over to my PC again. We will have a look at the whole experience here with my camera on later on, but now I want to go to my PC and try to enable dual boot, so I can switch between those two Windows OSs, and yeah, let's see what's happening there. Okay, and at the moment I have done the shutdown for my smartphone with the normal Windows keys and stuff like that. So the things you already know from here, from down below in the start menu, and it works exactly like you would have think or would have thought it should work. Next thing I want to try is to get it back to the mess mode, and that's probably going to be easy. Because I'm in the development menu now, can go to that, can go to mass storage mode. I'm again in the mass storage mode here. Okay, there we go, with all the different informations. And I'm going to close that. Okay, let's use, yeah, let's use that. Okay. And what I want to do now is I want to try to make it dual bootable. So in the menu of the REA deployer for Lumia, I'm going to check status. Let's wait a little what he's telling me there. Okay, and now he has told me that dual boot is currently disabled. And yeah, I want, of course, to enable it. But let's see. Please notice that while dual boot is enabled, Windows Update will not work inside Windows 10 ARM. Please disable dual boot to before using Windows 10 Update. Okay, so I would have to disable it again, whatever. At the moment, I'm going to use enable it. Okay, so let's wait a little. If he can provide me with the right settings here. Done. Dual boot is enabled. Okay, so let's see what's happening here. For that, I'm going to do a break here, and I'm going to use my smartphone again to show you if everything is working here. So let's see what's happening. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, and now I got the Wi-Fi mass storage screen again. I'm going to press my middle button here again. As you can see, there it is. And I'm just going to press it for 10 seconds again. Okay. And let's see what's happening now. I'm not sure if it's going to be booted into the mass storage mode again, but doesn't seem to be like that. And if let's press a button so he's not automatically going into there. But if I'm seeing this correctly, we've got two different options here: Windows 10 Phone and Windows 10. And yeah, first off, I'm trying to boot again into Windows 10 Phone just to show you that everything is working. And if that is working, I'm going to go back to Windows 10 again, and it should be working then. But that will be done with a real camera, not with my smartphone here, because otherwise I just have a too shaky image here and you can't see what I'm doing. Okay, and here you can see what's going on. We have more or less a nice little menu in this case, and I have the different options to choose from. The first one is Windows 10 Phone, the second one is Windows 10, and there is the developer mode or menu. And in this case I can choose between all of those, and the cool thing about it is it's going to boot into Windows 10 Phone by itself. I have read that that was not going to happen at the first, but seems to be fixed too. So like this, I can easily use this as a daily driver, for instance, in Windows 10 Phone, and use Windows 10 whenever I need to use it or whatever to do here. Okay, but for now, I'm going to, of course, have to use the switch at the side to go to Windows 10 or Windows 10 Phone. First off, I'm trying to boot into Windows 10 Phone in this case. Again, it's not the power button you are going to press, but the camera button to activate something. Let's see if it's going to work here. Yeah, and it took a little bit of time, but that's normal. It's more or less a full new reload of the whole system here, and like that we are going to have to wait a little. Totally normal for this kind of stuff. But it seems like he is really booting into Windows 10 Mobile. There it is. It's still my Windows 10 Mobile I created here, so I have still my background in there. I booted into that to see, for instance, if I can use my charger then, so this USB-C charger and stuff like that. I'm not sure if that is going to work in Windows 10 itself, so we will see what's happening there, but in the end it seems to be pretty nicely done here. I'm going to input my my SIM now. Give me a sec. Okay, still seems to work. As you can see, we have my part here. It's Sunday the 3rd, about 20, so this is 8 o'clock in the evening, of course, about 8 o'clock. I really put a lot of time into this, if I think about it. So I have to input my PIN again. So give me a sec. This is, of course, a telephone PIN, not the SIM one. Yeah, and here we are. Windows 10 phone still working on this device. As you can see, I still have all my images, my contacts seem to be there. I have all the other stuff that is there. So, yeah, seems to be pretty nice and works as it should. Okay, so next try. Give me a sec just to open up, for instance, a software here, an app. Yeah, and even my status bar and everything is still there. That's perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to go and restart this. After that I should see the menu again. That menu that can only be used by the volume switch here and stuff like that. For that yeah, of course, the smartphone is, I really shut it off, so that's working too. Let's try that again. That's something very interesting. For instance, what is happening if I just put it into the charger now? Would it work or would it not work? This is very fast, so I'm going to use, in this case, the second entry, which is Windows 10 again, just to see if something is working here. Oh, I'm still trying to use the power button to select something, but that's not the case in this case. So let's see. Here we have all the different informations again. Okay, this is a boot process. This is probably going to take a little while. Pretty normal if you ask me, because this is a desktop, more or less a desktop system, of course. But like that, it takes a little bit of time, but doesn't even seem to be a very long time. I would have to compare it directly, but if it's really starting at the moment and it's not taking too long again, then I would say it's not even that slow here. Yeah, it's pretty fast if you ask me. There we are. And we have Windows 10 ARM on it again. I will reposition the camera a little bit so you can see better. And there we are. We can now click on here. And if I really get it right, then we can, for instance, use the keyboard here. I will put in something now and do it out of the screen after that, but just to tell you or show you how this is working and what's going on here, it's pretty damn nice, if you ask me. Yeah, nicely done. So, okay, I will just take it now and give it the right password, of course. Okay, and that was extremely fast. And here we are in tablet mode in this case. And yeah, what should I open up? I don't know. Let's open up Edge here, just to see how fast it's going. That's really flawlessly. Okay, so next thing I would have to do is, of course, I would have to put it into Wi-Fi mode and stuff like that. But I would say, and here I can change between tabs pretty fast too. So the next thing I would have to do here is I would have to really put in my Wi-Fi password, install stuff and see what's going on here. Let's have one last look here. It's a little bit hard to press one of the buttons, especially from my perspective, but I think it's totally fine, and I'm even sure you can use it pretty nicely and well already. So let's see. Is this the Explorer? I'm not sure about that. Let's see. Yeah, this is the File Explorer on my smartphone. Can I change it around? Yes, I can. Perfect. Okay, so let's see if I can see something under here. It's extremely fast and usable. Not much to be worried about here. Here's a Windows installation on it. I can scroll around very fastly, no problem at all. Let's see. It's really very close to what I'm used to on my PC. So I can, for instance, get the extensions here. I don't want the elements to be selectable by like that. Okay, this is more or less what I'm always setting up here. Let's go to this computer part to see how much space there still is. Okay, we still have 5 GB of space on this installation part, so as you can see, this should be fine for us. 5 GB is not extremely much, but it's already something, so we can install stuff on it. And as you may see here, they told us that they need at least 10 GB, and that's more or less what's really needed here. So if you have 10 GB of space, you can install Win10ARM on it, but I wouldn't do that, so give it a little bit more space so you can do other stuff with it like I am doing here. Yeah, and like that, I would say this video really took a while, and I will now just get more or less to playing with it, and hopefully you liked it, and so thanks for watching. I may do some other videos about this kind of stuff in future, but for now, let's get out of here. Thanks for watching. Yeah, and there you have it, and there you see it. It's really a very nice and interesting process. It's quite long, as you may have already noticed, but if you have it running, then it's really a good feeling, and it's pretty damn amazing how fast it's running. So the performance of Windows 10 ARM on Windows 10 mobile, like Lumia 950XL in this case, is pretty damn amazing. I just have to say it, I wouldn't have expected it to run that smoothly and stuff like that, and it's really running pretty nice. And yeah, so thank you for watching, thank you for listening. If you have any kind of questions or you want to know more about it, please put them down below in the commentary section. I will probably prepare another video or two about how Windows 10 Mobile and Windows 10 ARM are working together, and how that is going on and stuff like that. But that might be something for the next special episode, because it took me really a long time to do this video, so hopefully you like it. But I really need a little bit of spare time before I'm going to go through all that again and show everything again. So at probably the 190th episode, I'm going to show you more about all the different things, and of course I have to try them out myself too. I don't know much about Windows 10 ARM on my Lumia 950XL till now, so we will see what's happening there. So thank you for watching, thank you for listening. Please give this video a thumbs up. I think I really deserve that one. And yeah, if you want to know more about that, the whole process, or just stay in touch with this channel, please subscribe to it. There is a bell button too if you want to know when I'm uploading new stuff. And other than that, thank you for watching, thank you for listening. I hope you have a great week. We will see us in the next episode of Continuum Gaming, and so see you later. Bye bye and bye.